Welcome back everybody to a new daily update, and what looked like that BTC was getting ready to start stair-stepping higher roughly got disrupted because now we are dumping down, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it doesn't look that good. Before we go into dive in, I want to do two things. First of all, I want to thank Marvik Suarez, I hope that I pronounced your name correctly. Yesterday we had an unsubscriber, but you are the person who took the place of our unsubscribers, so welcome to the team. And I think we have a few more subs, so that's very, very nice to see. The second thing I'm going to ask you is to smash up the like button, subscribe of course, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss any notifications, leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Now without further ado, let's look into the charts, because like I said, I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't look so pretty. This is the BTC on the USD chart on the daily. And we were breaking out, going higher, so actually we kind of need to retest them, maybe going higher. We were setting up pretty bullish. I mean, we had the momentum wave here going higher, money flow looks like it's kind of maybe wants to go higher, but the view up is still lower, RSIs are pointing lower. But if we zoom into the 4 hourly, then we are seeing that we were kind of stair-stepping higher since the weekend. That looked good. I thought, well, maybe we have another move up, but we also were in this kind of oversold territory here on the volume notes and said, well, we might need to cool down a little bit because we were pretty much oversold on the 4 hourly, also on the regular RSIs. I showed you that I think yesterday, but also on the hourly, and there we already saw bearish divergences on multiple time frames, and said actually so far a triple one, I will show you in a little bit, has a 100% win rate for me. I was in a short and I closed it unfortunately a little bit too fast. I also did not expect that we would really kind of just bar pattern all the way down. Yesterday we also pulled this Fibonacci retracement tool and said, well, it's a little bit biased where to put it, and matter of fact, let me just zoom into the hourly, this may be a little bit easier. Said, do we need to put it here? Then this is your golden pocket. Or do we need maybe need to pull a little bit more down? Then your golden pocket will approximately here or here. Well, if we now taking this low, then actually you could say, you know what, we went all the way down, touched the golden pocket, and now we could bounce a little bit. I have to say, to be honest, since the money flow is just curving down so much, most likely on the next candle we're going into the red. I think we're going to see more follow through. We have this major wave here at the bottom. So it looks like maybe the price needs to go a little bit sideways before we can go higher or lower. Yeah, United States will close soon with the stock markets. Europe is closed, Asia is closed, so I do not expect a lot of price action. So maybe we'll see this kind of classic midweek reversal. If I zoom out to the daily, there you can see it. Have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then sometimes on Wednesday we have a midweek reversal where the week reverses and then we're going lower. Not always that it plays out, but it is a classic term or pattern that you sometimes see 1 or 2 or 3 days up, and then we return the momentum to the other side. If I zoom back into the hourly, there's something else I want to show you, and that's something we talked about yesterday, is that we're seeing here very strong bearish divergences starting to build up, where we have a new high on the price, a new high on the price, a new high on the price, but then a momentum wave is just going lower, 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 and then the price cannot stay behind it. Something is just falling down. We talked about a potential barred pattern with this move up going sideways and then maybe going lower. That didn't happen, but actually now we're seeing the bar pattern existing right here. And since we already broke this support right here, I think that actually this 61.8 and the 0.65, so the golden pocket will also not hold because we just barely tapped it. I think actually we're gonna go much lower, and then I'm looking out for here the 29,300-ish, then the 29k, and if we would also break that, then here the lows on 2800, was it 28,400-ish. Like I said, the way this is setting up right now, with really the money flow just curving lower, and we also see that on the 4 hourly, just really nosediving down, also the money flow going lower. I think that we might see some more bearish price action in the next couple of days. I would not be surprised. There is something that is fueling this case, what I want to show you before I do it, like I said, we were here on the overbought territories, we're now in the fair value again, but usually then we also test here the lows, which would then also coincide what I said earlier, approximately 29,300 is the most traded volume. So if we were to retest that as maybe a support, that would definitely make sense for me. Then again, what would fuel this case is something that's a little bit unpleasantly surprised, and that is here the dollar index, and we're seeing that the dollar index is just curving back up all of a sudden, and it also gets supported here by the DBSI. I mean, look at this number, it's minus 1, 0, 10, 15. So the bulls are gaining strength here on the dollar index, and the bears are losing power from 7, 12, 3, minus 5. And then we also see here the green dot on the daily, VWAP going higher, RSI is going higher, and it looks like the money flow also wants to go higher. In other words, if we would start going back up again, then we might gonna test these highs and then even go higher, and then this dump down was just nothing but a tiny reset and then continue the trend up, because you can see we had a major trend up so far. If that happens, I do think that we're gonna go much lower, and then we 100% sure going to test the lows and maybe even go lower. That sub 20k that I actually talked about already in a much earlier stage, where I think like I don't know 100% sure if this is the low. We might see sub 20k before really going higher, so that is something I'm looking out for. Very, very inconvenient for the bulls here that for the bulls here that this is pumping up. And as you can see, also drew two support lines, or some resistance and support in this case, that we kind of needed to hold for this thing to go lower. And now you see on the daily it looks like we are breaking through, and if we then end the day here, I do think that there is maybe more action to the upside for the dollar index, and that will mean more downwards action for BTC. That will be quite horrible. For ETH, we're not going to do that so detailed. I just want to show you that we just bounced off this resistance line right here. Most traded volume is now laying around 1940-ish. And this just looks like a very painful grind lower. Same for BTC. I was looking at the charts today. Everything was so oversold on the small time frames. I saw RSIs on a 5 minute, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes on 9 and 10 and 11, and still this thing went low, and I was just waiting for the bounce, and it just didn't happen. And that is sometimes what we see, those very small painful grinds that just continue during the day, a little bounce up and going low, a little bounce up, and then after a few hours you look behind, you're like, my god, we already dumped down so much. And we have seen that in the past for BTC and ETH. I would not be surprised if we see more downwards action today, tomorrow, and the day after. Then I quickly just want to show you the stock markets. Not such a big dump as BTC, but I said, well, we might be playing some catch up. Not today. Yesterday I think we went out pretty flat, and today a little bit of a loss, so it looks pretty weak. Also here, Jamie Diamond has said, well, brace yourself, might get a hurricane, a financial hurricane. That would also mean that the stock markets might go down much further, and then also I think BTC, ETH, and all the other crypto. So guys, we are definitely not out of the woods yet. I have been saying this already for weeks. We will stay in this kind of environment for weeks, maybe even months, where we bounce up, we wake down, we have bar patterns, we have breakouts, we have fake outs. We have days where we just completely flat, and so we pump up 10% again. Everyone thinks this is the bottom, make a new low again. This very choppy action, this can take really weeks. If you have been through these kinds of cycles, you probably know what I mean. If not, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, or you're seeing my stuff in the charts, you have realized something like, I don't know what's going on. My advice would be, step away from the charts, do not trade, do not do anything, just come back in a few months, and maybe just DCA your way in the next couple of weeks and months. So dollar cost average every week, every month a little bit, and then just don't look behind, just look a year ahead, 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, and I think you will be happy that you bought a little bit of BTC and ETH every week, every month. That will be it for now. Again, I would highly appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Also feel free to check out the links in the descriptions, and see you guys very soon again in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye bye.